gentlemen, and welcome back to SimAirport. I certainly hope you're having a wonderful day, because I'm certainly excited to be back here at ConflictNerd International Airport, where things, as always, are going pretty darn well indeed. So, we have a flight taking off. It's a Forward Air 6935, heading out towards Glasgow or something, probably. We have also got a third airplane gate over here, which is important because there's some work that I'd quite like to do today, and that work mostly involves going ahead and changing the layout of these gates, because obviously this one here is awkwardly in the middle. I'd like to shuffle it over a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get airplane gate 3. Gate A3 over here is gonna be activated. We're going to get a gate agent desk. We're going to put it there, and we're putting it there for good reason. You'll see why in a second. We're putting the gate there, the gate agent desk there, and then the queue for this is going to be like so. It's going to go there, and it's going to go, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then it's going to come down to here. It's going to come across like this. It's going to come down, and it's going to go to there. And that is the layout that all of the airplane gates on this side of the terminal are going to have in the not too distant future. And you'll see why when we get gate A2 moved across and get gate A4 in here as well. But that's going to be a very important layout for the future of this terminal. Now, what we're also going to need to do is we're going to need $169,500, as you can see just there, to get the terminal up to full size. That's not going to be too difficult to do because we'll get a few flights landing. We actually find ourselves in an interesting situation at the moment because we don't have that many flights using the airport right now because the airlines have cancelled quite a few of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the nighttime slot here, and a Forward Air 6935 is going to go to there. Then Aerostar 3225 is going to go to about there, and that should be fine because we have 2 active gates. In fact, we have 3 active gates at this point. This flight is going to go to just about there, and we're going to move a bunch of these flights around a little bit. I'm going to try and leave some space between them, but we can get another afternoon flight, and to be honest, we can probably also get another morning flight. If we want to, yeah, we could totally get another morning flight. So I want to get one more afternoon flight, one more morning flight, and that's going to bring us up to get a little bit more money. But what I also want to do is make sure we're not getting small flights. I don't want small planes because they don't make us enough money. So this is an afternoon flight to Bombardier CRJ 900. That carries 75 passengers. Not big enough. We're not getting it. WestJet has a Bombardier Dash 8. I assume, yeah, 50 passengers. Not happening. Pacific Airlines has an afternoon flight. It's a Beechcraft 1900. 19 passengers. Not happening. Starflight has a morning 707. 180 passengers. We'll take it. So that flight can go in there. Can I get a nighttime flight? No, but I can get a 737. 140 people in the afternoon, so we'll take that. So what we'll do is we'll shuffle that flight to there, and we'll shuffle this flight to there. Now that's a little bit risky. We're not leaving as much time between flights as I'd quite like to there, so we're just going to shuffle those a little bit so that there's a little bit of there's a little bit of time between a lot of these flights. So that's a couple of new flights added to the airport. I'd also like to get a new member of staff to work this gate over here, and that gate is now active, which is good because it means that if we have flights that aren't taking off when they're supposed to, other flights can land and can go to gate A3. If we have a look at the moment, all of our flights are A1, 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 A2. I can't imagine anything's going to be scheduled for A3. So A3 at the moment is basically a backup gate, and that's totally fine. That is totally fine. It's currently day 18. The plan is that around the time that day 19 begins, we should be looking into demolishing this airplane gate. We're also going to want to change up the layout of a lot of these seats. And again, you'll see what my plan is regarding the queues and all that stuff. I've tested it. I know that it works, and I'm kind of excited to see it actually working. I'm also thinking that pricing could be raised a little bit, but the airlines aren't all that happy with me. So I don't want to raise prices too much. I'd like the airlines to be happier with me than they currently are, but that's just not gonna happen. So we'll not worry too much about that. Now, I would like to go ahead and go to build, go to foundations, and just extend this area a little bit. So just something like that will be fine for the time being. We have another plane coming in. See, this is what I mean. These flights, neither has taken off, but this flight could go straight to the gate that it needed to go to. So as long as no two planes are due to land at the same time, we can have 3 planes on the ground at any one time, as you can see here. Because this flight, for example, 21 minutes left. This flight, 42. So this flight is almost due to leave. It is now leaving. So it's going to go on its way. This flight's going to go on its way. It sounds like we might have a flight coming into... No, we don't. No flight's coming into land. There we go. The airport, it's running like clockwork, is what it's running like. It's running like a well-oiled airport machine. Because that's how that phrase works. Basically, it's working. That's what I'm getting at. The whole thing's working, and I'm very excited about it. So another plane's come in there. That is not a very big plane at all. Aerotime 1320, I assume the 12 o'clock flight? Yeah, Aerotime 1320. 737A1. Oh, that is a bigger plane. It's not got that many people on it. Can I see 747s are big flights. I can't look at Galactic Point. They do massive planes. A Ford Air does 737s. Yeah, 140 maximum passengers. That's fine. As long as there's a lot of people using the flights, that's all I'm interested in. I don't want these small planes anymore. And I actually want to just check. This Embraer 195. Is it a decently sized plane? I have no idea. What's this? That's a Boeing 707. That's totally fine as well. Oh man, we're making some good money though. Right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get some carpet in here because I want my workers doing something. I'm also thinking that I'd like to come down this way for a moment because I'd like to go and build some roads. And what I'm going to do with these roads is bring it in like this, turn it this way, and bring it down just a little bit. It doesn't need to be a huge section of road. So we'll do this sort of thing. I don't actually have the money to finish this, which is a bit of a pain in the butt. I could take a loan, I guess. I could absolutely take... I think I will. I'll take a loan, and we'll pay that off tomorrow. So I want this bit of road built because I want to go into zones here, and I want to get rid of... I want to stop the garbage trucks from using the main bit of road here. I want them to use this down here. So that's my plan. We'll go ahead, actually, we can extend the garbage zone like this. That'll be totally fine. So we'll extend it like that, we'll go to objects, and I want to get a dumpster. And we're going to put some dumpsters like this, just the whole way along there. And that'll give us a nicely expanded garbage zone. And the good news with that is that at the end of the day, at midnight, when the garbage trucks show up, they will turn off of the road and stop in here, so any traffic going through, any pickups, any drop-offs will not be blocked as they're trying to leave the airport. Which is perfect. That's exactly what I want to see. So this flight's working pretty well. It's another 737. You know what? I don't think we're going to have too many problems with flights later in the day, so I'm going to take a little bit of a risk here. I'm going to go to demolish. Demolish that, please. Or I'll just, you know what, I'll click in the bloody... No, I can't click in the bloody thing, can I? I don't know if that is being demolished. It is. Okay, that's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to clear. And we're going to clear this all out of there as well. So that's all going to go away. These gate agents are going to go work elsewhere for a little while. And by that, I mean they'll probably go and work at one of the ticketing desks because they like to double up like that. So we'll get rid of the queues. And that's totally fine. The door needs to go as well. So we'll destroy the door. And we need to go to objects. We need to go to airplane gate. I want one there. And I want one there. All right. So we'll get those built. That door is being deleted, which is totally fine. Get me another couple of large sliding doors there and there. We can get some walls just in that little gap in there. And this should work. It is coming up to the end of the day, so we should see... Yeah, this plane doesn't know where it's going. It will go... No, that departed. Oh, but it's got a question mark because the gate that it was going to is not gone. So yeah, we've got 2 flights. One of them's at the gate. The other's going to go to A3, so that's totally fine. So this is absolutely perfect. This gate is now ready to have a desk assigned to it. So we'll go ahead and do this kind of thing, like so. And you're about to see why my queue pattern here is quite important. So... That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Basically, we're going for symmetry. And we're going for symmetry in such a way that I can go to objects, I can get benches, and put a bench there. Not there, ignore that one. We'll put a bench just there and there. There and there. And we can put some on this side as well. So we can really, really nicely surround these queues with benches. We can get food vending machines just there and there. We can get flight info displays at the end of each row as well. We'll put them in the middle like that as well. We could put flight info beside this if we wanted to. Not that I think we're going to need it. But there you go. That looks perfect to me. I really like it. So what we'll do is we'll assign this desk to that gate and that queue. And someone's going to come and work at it. So that should not be a... Why is that not assigned? Assign to that, please. There we go. So there you go. That's now assigned. That's now a working gate. And this is a nice compact layout. I've discovered basically that one queue is kind of all you really need for most of the workings of the airport. So that's what we're going to stick with. I'm also going to go to clear, and I want to clear out all of this space. I don't want any of that in there anymore. So just clear out all of the objects there. I can sell a lot of the objects that are lying around, like this garbage bin. I can just sell it if I want to. I probably will go through and do a lot of that, but they do actually reuse some items. You'll not really notice it, but if you... Well, you maybe haven't noticed it. If you pay attention when I'm placing items, if it's an item we've had before, it won't actually cost me anything to place it because they're just going to use one that's lying around at the moment. So that's the way that works. Now let's go ahead and get these queues in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Then it snakes across a little bit. Not quite like that, though. That is ever so slightly hideous. So I'll expand it this way, and this way, and this way, and across like that. This one's going to go in a similar manner. You might be wondering why I'm leaving such a weird little space at the end there where the desk is. The reason for that is that it cuts a tiny, tiny little bit of time just off of the total time that it takes for passengers to actually go through the departure gate. What I mean is, passengers at the end of the queue will go initially to the person at the desk, then to the door. So if I was to have the queue end here, passengers would walk back and then to the door. So this way they walk sort of on their way to the door, they go to the person. It's a tiny, tiny little bit quicker. It's a really insignificant amount of time, but I want to optimize it that way. I think that's kind of cool to do. So we'll get the vending machines in there. We'll get flight info just there, and in there as well. We are going to need another member of staff to work that gate, and we will assign to gate A1 and Q, and we will assign you to gate A2 and Q. And where did the... Hold on a minute. You're going to be fired. Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, we did have an extra person. I'm actually going to see how many extra people we might have. Because if I fire you... Yeah, so... Oh, so no, you left the ticketing desk. So we do have need for 17 members of staff. So that's totally fine. So now we have 4 gates that work, which is absolutely beautiful. What we're going to go ahead and do with this space in the middle is put more benches in, basically. It's going to be that simple. Bunch of benches going to go in here to provide a nice seating area for me passengers. So we'll do that. We'll do that. We can put some benches up there, I suppose. Just something like that. We'll leave some gaps because we can. We could put some benches there as well if we really wanted to. Don't know if I really want to, though. I want to get electronics vending and put it there and there. And then I want to get some decorative plants, I think. We'll go for some decorative bushes there and there. We could put more flight info up there, but I think I'll go for more plants just to brighten the place up ever so slightly. And that looks good to me. That looks much, much better than what we had. It's working, you know? People are filtering through. The next step is going to be to get a second runway. That's going to be a really important thing to do as well. But that's going to take a bit of work to do, because I don't want to delete taxiways, because the game is really... It's funny with its pathfinding, is what I'll say. It gets really funny with pathfinding. If you delete a section of road that's being used, or that a plane plans to use, that plane might potentially stop moving and never move again and just be there forever. And that's happened to me a couple of times thus far whilst playing this game. And the problem with that is that it will perpetually drag your passenger satisfaction down really quickly, because there's people on that plane that are not moving, and they don't like that. And then the airlines don't like that, and then the airlines cancel your flights. So generally, you don't want that to happen. So we're going to try and avoid that kind of thing happening. Now my workers are doing a pretty good job just over here getting this new area built. I'm actually considering putting more of the small gates down on this side of the terminal, because what we could do is put the large gates up here, sort of like this. So we could have 3 large, or maybe even just 2, like 2 large gates there and there, right at the end. Except what I'd do is sort of have them out like this, so we'd have a, we'd have like a T shape that would go like that, basically. But I think that would look cool. I think that could be a really cool way to do things. You know, it'd be 20 across that way, and it would be 60 down this way. I think it could look cool. I might do it. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it, but I'm definitely thinking about it. Let's go ahead and pay off a bit of my loan there. And let's also go into here and put down a bit more carpet, just like so. The reason I would like to go for some more of the smaller planes is that they're a little bit easier to manage. You don't need as much stuff on your runways. You don't need large gates or anything, and it's a good way to get more money. So I might very well do that. I will go ahead and put the instrument landing system just there, and the precision approach path indicator. Good lord, that's got a lot of P's in it. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's not a sentence you want to say without a pop filter or a windshield on your microphone. Precision approach pathfinder indicator. Good lord. Whatever it's called. Pathfinder's a Mass Effect Andromeda. That's why I'm saying Pathfinder. I knew there was a reason. Yeah, I've been playing Mass Effect Andromeda recently. Just as an FYI, I stream it occasionally too, so keep an eye out for those videos. It's a fun game. You can come along with the stream and tell me how bad I am at video games. Just, you know, bit of casual cross promotion of my my content there. You're welcome. Anyway, I think my next goal here is absolutely going to be getting a second runway, because I'd really like to get a few more planes in here. I think that'd be a really nice thing to do. I'd really like more planes. I also need to keep in mind what way the runways work, because I think... No, I have seen planes take off from left to right. I think they always land from right to left, because of the way this light's moving. That's sort of the indicator. Or they land facing the number 27 there. I want to watch these planes and see what way they take off, though. Because if they take off from right to left, that's good, because that means I can sort of orient my runways in such a way that they'll funnel themselves around really nicely. But I'm curious to see. Yeah, you are going to take off from that end. So maybe runways... Huh. Are you going to take off in the same direction? Yeah, so runways do actually seem to have an orientation to them, which is very interesting. Now, I need $100,000 to get a runway, so I'm going to take my loan back up again, because why not? We'll search for runway, and... now that doesn't actually tell me what way the runways move. Move? Move? What the hell am I talking about moving? What way the runways go. Which is a little tricky. I'm thinking that I might put a runway right on the edge there, because that'll give me a lot of room for the other terminals, the other gates. But I don't know. I could put it there, I think I'll put it there. That'll be fine. So we'll get a runway there. It's not going to be usable for a while because I'm going to need to get taxiways connected to it, but when we do that, we should be all right. We're just going to need a lot of money to do that because taxiways are like $16,000 each per section. Per 10 by 10 sections, like $16,000. So yeah, a lot of money. A lot of money are the taxiways. But, you know, we can make some good money. We have a 707 landing there. So we can go and get some taxiways. That is going to need taxiway connected on both ends, though. So do something like that, 48,000. Then I think we'll bring the other taxiways down like this and across to there. And that should be totally fine. Hopefully. Hopefully that'll be totally fine. I'm excited, though. I'm excited to get a second runway because it does mean that we get more planes. It does mean that more money can be made here at the airport. It does also potentially mean that my frame rate could tank massively and cause huge problems with the recording, but you know, I'm going to take that chance. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to try. I've also just noticed this runway, the lights are going that way now, which is really strange. So the runway, it seems during the day, the flights land from left to right, but at night they land from right to left. Is that a thing? Or is it day by day they change direction that they land? I honestly don't know. Huh. I didn't realize that was a thing. Right. Let's get these taxiways in. I think I will just sort of bring it down, you know, to there and then straight up. Because that seems like it's going to be the easiest way to do things. I can change the taxiways a little bit. Oh, hold on a minute, actually. If I go to here, so that is actually going to work perfectly. Oh, wow. That is actually going to work absolutely perfectly. Okay. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. That spacing is actually perfect. So that's going to run up to there. We need 112,000 to make this happen. But we'll go to there for the time being. We're almost there. We've almost got a second runway. Which means we can get more flights, which is really exciting. I know it doesn't sound exciting. I know it's like, oh, it's just more planes landing, but it's more money, which means I can build more things, which is kind of the point of the whole game, really, if you think about it. So in a way, in terms of progressing, it actually does sound kind of exciting. I take that back. Right, we are on 22,000. We need one more. Come on. Can we get another plane? When's the next plane landing? It's 2:30. Next plane's going to be 5 o'clock. It's a 707, then a 737, a 767, a 76. Okay, so we've got a lot of big planes landing. We're going to get some good money at the end of the day here. I don't like all of these gaps that we have between planes landing. That's another reason I really want the, second runway, so I can bring them closer together. I've also just noticed that the direction that planes take off and land might be related to the weather, now that I think about it. That's actually a definite possibility, and probably really likely the reason for planes landing in different ways. I've also realized that the way I want to do these gates is like that and like that. Which means I have room to bring this bit of taxiway across to here. Because I can still do the T-shape. Oh, this is actually going to work so well. This is actually going to work perfectly. I'm so excited by this. I really am. I also want to upgrade this runway so it can work at night. So we'll get the runway lights on here, which are going to be that way. So we'll do that sort of thing. We'll get those built. Where's this plane going? It's not using the new runway, that's fine. We're sitting in $600. No, there we go. I want to take more planes. I want to get more planes. I want another nighttime flight. And I want an afternoon flight. And I'll get like another morning flight, possibly. 767 in the morning. 767 can take 250 passengers, that's fine. So we'll take 3 more flights so we don't just massively overdo it. Have a look at the old sketch, and yeah, we can just sort of shuffle these around a little bit. If there's 3 planes on the ground at one time, that's fine. Just as long as, you know, some of them take off eventually. Those are 2 flights that are landing at pretty much the same time. That's actually a morning flight, which is interesting. That should be fine there. Then we've got, where you can land way back there. Interesting. You are going to land about there. You're going to land about there. You can be brought back a little bit too, as can you. Then that should be a fine setup for nighttime flights. We could get another couple of planes in there, but I think, you know, just a little bit of expansion just to be safe is what we want here. I don't want to massively overdo it. I don't want to risk security not being able to keep up. I don't want to risk mass cancellations. I don't want to annoy my passengers. I want to make sure everything can keep working, which it's currently doing. So that's good. If we have a little look, what's tomorrow going to look like? So tomorrow is... Actually, we'll wait for it to tick over because it might not have updated. But tomorrow is probably going to be a very busy day. Which, if I'm honest, I'm kind of excited about. I'm just saying, kind of excited about tomorrow being a very busy day. Aerostar just got terminated. Aerostar 6200. Not quite sure why that got terminated. Let me pause for a second and have a look. Yeah, we probably want another nighttime flight. There's a gap in here that I don't like. Possibly another afternoon flight as well. So let's have a little look and see what we can do. Smart Air Lux has nothing I can accept because they're going to want some bigger gates. WestJet has a morning flight. The Dash 8, though, is not big enough. Pacific Airlines with their Beechcraft, no. Atlantic International has 707 in the afternoon. We'll take that. And Rexicana has afternoon flights that I'm not interested in. So, Atlantic International has this flight here. That's probably okay, though. We'll shuffle you back a little bit. Yeah. I'm liking that. I'm excited to see how day 21 goes here. Because it is going to be our busiest day yet. But that's kind of exciting. That is definitely kind of exciting. I'm also going to pay attention to the weather here. Because I want to see if that does... So the weather's going northwest. It's a northwestern wind. It's reasonably... It's moderately windy. So northwestern wind means that the planes are taking off from the left side of this runway and also landing from the left side of this runway. They are taking off and landing from the top part of this runway over here. So I'm curious to see if that actually does change with the weather. So the weather, yeah, weather just changed to be southwestern and they now take off from here. So they take off into the wind is what I'm realizing. So that's interesting. Yeah, that flight just came in from that side. That's totally fine. So you're going to taxi over to your particular gate. Lot of people coming in there. Lot of people. Oh. So this is where we can run into issues. There's a lot of people going to the ticketing kiosks as well, but it looks like for the most part we're filtering through them quick enough. Security really isn't too much of an issue. They do get through it quite quickly as well. It'll be interesting to see how many people get their flight cancelled though. That's going to be the big question. How many people are going to be annoyed that their flight, not cancelled, but how many people are going to be annoyed that their flight has been missed? So far, none. Interestingly. This flight here is 5 minutes left in boarding. It's going to be a little bit late in terms of taking off, but for the most part, oh yeah, there's a few people down here that are annoyed. A few people, but not that many. Not that many at all, so I'm quite happy about that. Right, I think I am going to go with the idea that we have 8 of the regular-sized gates in here, and then 2 of the giant ones at the end of the terminal. I feel like that's the way to go. So let's go to objects. Let's go to airplane gate. They're 28,000 each, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's where they're going to live. And we're going to have to bring some taxiway down here. We're going to have to get another runway down here. But that's totally, totally fine. Because I'm actually really excited about this. I'm really keen to see these working. So let's go to the doors. And we'll get a door there. And there. And there. And there. And basically the pattern that we've done with the benches and all that stuff up here, that's exactly what we're going to be doing with these gates. We're going to have it go exactly the same way. It's just going to be spaced slightly differently, which is totally okay. So if we go to objects, we can go to gate agent desk. And it goes there and there. Then that way. And that way. Then the queues obviously go in between them. We get the benches around there and all that stuff as well. So we'll get this all laid out exactly the way it needs to go. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then it just zips back and forth like this a little bit to there. Then we duplicate it on this side with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Zip it back and forth. And this is... I mean, this is doubling what we can do at the airport. Not that I'm ever going to have enough flights to fill every single gate at one time, because that's how you say bye-bye to your frame rate. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I don't want to say goodbye to my frame rate. I kind of like having this at, 30 to 60 FPS from time to time. So we're never going to fill all of this, but at this point, I'm just going for something that's going to look really, really cool. I want my airport to look awesome. I also do want to have some big flights, because big flights equal big money. Which is also a thing that I'd quite like. I'd quite like a lot of money. So let's go ahead and get the old benches in here like so. So that there's a lot of space for people to park themselves, should they wish to do so. So we got a bunch of benches just along here. We got a bench just in there as well. And we are done with benches. Now, we do have a space here on the right-hand side that we will probably do something with eventually. Not really sure what that something's going to be, but it'll be something, I'm sure. So we'll do that. We'll rotate you like that. Do that sort of thing. And benches are done. Oh, that looks really cool, actually. I really, really like that. I really do. We do need flight info. We do need... vending machines. So the vending machines went in the middle of the benches. It's a lot of vending machines as well. I've just realized just how many there are. But I guess, well, actually, I was going to say airports are like that. They're not really like that, are they? Airports don't usually have as many vending machines as much as they would usually have a bunch of just shops. You don't really see that many vending machines in airports. At least I don't. Maybe you do where you go, but... yeah, I don't often see vending machines. They're usually in arrivals. That's usually where you get the vending machines. You don't usually get them in departures. That's usually where the shops are. Again, that's just generally what I notice in UK airports. But I might be wrong. The good news, though, is that this is looking really cool. Really, really pleased about that. Really, really happy with it. Oh man, it looks like a proper airport. That's what it just looks like a proper little airport, doesn't it? Have we had any flights cancelled today? No. I feel like I want more. I feel like I want more nighttime flights. I feel like we don't have that many of them. Except we kind of do. I feel like this can be shuffled back a little bit. I feel like you can be shuffled a little bit. Yeah, we can get one more nighttime flight. Possibly. If an airline's going to give us another nighttime flight, which, to be honest, they're probably not, because a lot of them are starting to eye up the bigger planes. So we do need to start working towards the bigger gates. Or we drop our prices. If we drop our prices, more airlines are going to be willing to work with us, but I don't really want to drop my prices, if I'm being honest. That's not really something I want to do. What I would like to do, though, is go out 21, 22 there? I don't know. What distance do we need to go? So this needs to be 20. So if that's 20, that's, again, yeah, that's a 20 by 20 space. We want to go, so $209,000 is what we need to start putting the work in for the new section of the terminal. That's a lot of money. How much do we make in a day? Well, we still have our loan. In a day, we can make $524,800 if things go perfectly. But things rarely go perfectly here at ConflictNerd International Airport. Things rarely go perfectly at all, in fact. So we're gonna have to just, we're just gonna have to be patient, really. I'm not gonna pay off my loan. That's one thing I'm not gonna do. Not gonna pay it off yet, anyway. We can do it eventually, just I'm not all that interested. I'd also really like to find a way to stop the arriving passengers from going down here. And I think I could probably do that if I was to put in a bit of wall or something. That might be a way to do it. Just a little bit of wall there and there. I might try that. I'm gonna see what happens if I go and do a bit of wall there and there. And a bit of wall there and there. And the same just up in that spot and that spot. Because what I can do is I can put an electronics vending machine up there. And it'll look like it's by design. So we'll get that done. That might stop incoming passengers from sort of running down through the queues. Because it does create an area that's sort of blocked off like that. So I guess we'll see. Once 4 a.m. comes along, we should absolutely know whether or not my genius plan has worked. Because I do just want them to filter down this middle bit and then go out here. That's the ideal scenario. Whether or not it works, I mean, we'll see. So these guys are all arriving. They seem to be respecting the fact that there's queues here, which is nice. It is just the inbound passengers that have the problems, apparently. So we'll do our test in 20 minutes. In 10 minutes. We're about to do the test. There's the plane landing. $18,000 for that. Not bad. Right. It's actually the worst plane that could have tested this as well. Which is interesting. It's this one over here. We need a plane to test this gate. Oh, thank you. That's exactly what I wanted. So those are going to get off the plane. And it works. They walk right down the middle and then they sort of jump off here. So if we were to put some chairs and stuff in this area, that would totally work. That would totally work. Or a cafe, or some kind of building, some kind of structure, some kind of room in that space. That would totally work. That's really good news. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put some benches here. Because that's all this area is really going to be good for the time being. So a bunch of benches in there. And it would be nice to be able to double up on that side, but we'll not worry too much about it. We'll do benches like this as well. Just to completely block off that space. So that they have to follow the layout. They have to follow the path. I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased with that. Oh, I'm grinning like an idiot. I'm sorry. There is no reason to be grinning like an idiot right now, but that's really satisfying to see that they're just filtering through perfectly. Oh, that's so good. So this plane's coming in. These guys are going to filter down to here. And they're going to go across. Exactly the way I want them to. I'm so happy with that. Where's this plane going? Are you going to go to the end? Yes, you are. Are they going to filter through the way I want them to? Yes, they are. Oh, that would be hell to walk through. Because when you get off a plane, you don't care about the existence of any other human. You just beeline it through the airport. You see the word arrivals, you see red. And you're like a bull charging at red towards arrivals. So anyone trying to get their flight, I feel sorry for them. But yeah, we'll not worry too much about that. So 22 by 20 is what we want. That's going to be the core section of where the new extra large aircraft gates are going to go. So there and there. So we need to extend right out to the edge of these other gates. So like that, basically. 210,000. So we need $420,000. And then the building is pretty much done at that point. Which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool if I do say so myself. I'd also like to go to taxiways here and just bring that across because we might as well. I realize I could have also made this relatively symmetrical. But apparently we're not doing that, so we'll not worry too much about it. Oh man, that looks really cool. I'm so happy with this. I really am so happy with this layout. Anyway, ladies and gents, this episode's going on a little bit, so I think I'm going to leave it there for today. This has been SimAirport Part 5. Things are going so well. I really am so happy with how this is all looking. So thank you, Canada, for watching. Like I said, this has been SimAirport Part 5. Next time, hopefully we can get the rest of the terminal built. Hopefully we can get more of the gates working. And I'd also like to look into a bit more research, because we didn't do any of that. We could go for multi-lane access, which is probably a good idea. I'd also like to look into potentially having deliveries be in a similar area to the garbage down here. That might not be a terrible idea. Could also be an idea to try and give pickups its own lane, so that the the passenger vehicles, they don't want to go to pickups. So the buses are sort of blocking all that off. But we'll see what happens. We'll absolutely see what happens. Like I said, that's going to be it for today. Thank you, Canada, for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!